All right, welcome in. These are my NBA projections for tonight. Basically, I wanted to do something different because what I did is a couple months ago I posted a video on YouTube on how to create your own NBA projections, and it sparked a lot of great conversation. People asked a lot of great questions, but I made the mistake of taking a process that took me a few hours over the course of a few days, and I tried to narrow it down to a 15 or 20-minute video so I didn't bore everyone. And basically, I left out a lot of good stuff and a lot of nuances about the projections that people ran into troubles with. So a lot of people found them very very helpful, but I have been answering questions about them for a while now. So what I wanted to do, excuse me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back and I'm going to film a much more comprehensive process on how to create your own NBA projections, how to do it in Google Docs, all that good stuff. It'll be a video series step by step, and I won't skip anything. Now, in the meantime, the NBA season is kind of winding down here. So what I wanted to do is from this point forward, it's April 2nd, by the way. So from this point forward, I'm going to just give out my NBA projections every night. I will link them on my website, and you can do whatever you want with them. So basically, what you need to do is you need to go to dailyfantasyrankings.com. It looks like this. Dailyfantasyrankings.com. If you scroll down right now, the first post are these projections for tonight, April 2nd. There is a link here to them, and it will just take you back to this Google Doc sheet. And once you're here, feel free to do whatever you want. So you can sort it. But note that if you sort it and there are other people viewing, you're going to sort for them too. But that's probably okay. So if you just go to data and sort range, you can get as freaky as you want with this. So a good one might be to sort by position and then by highest projected score. So that would give you the centers from highest projected, so Tyson Chandler tonight, and then we'll go to power forwards and we'll go down the list. So you can go in here, you can copy and paste them, you can do whatever you want, but I do want to kind of walk you through different parts of this. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I know there's going to be questions about it as well. Obviously, okay, so what I'm using are the number fire projected minutes. So already it's 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast. So already I can see that there's news coming out that Kevin Love is going to be a game time decision, that Kyrie Irving is sick and he's questionable for tonight. So these projections assume that both of those guys are going to play. And as the news breaks, when things become official, the projected minutes will change, which will in turn change their projection, if that makes any sense. So if Kyrie Irving goes out, there's going to be a ton of minutes that are going to be up for grabs tonight through the rest of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's this column G right here is how many minutes they're projected for tonight. Column H is obviously their score that I project them to finish with this evening. And column I is going to be their value. So the more green that cell is, excuse me, the better. The more red it is, the worse. Obviously, Alex Len, he's out for tonight, so he's in there as 0 points. So that's very bad. Tyson Chandler is pretty green, and he's projected at 6.7 times his own value for this evening. And how do we get to that projection? Well, it's basically what we're using are a couple of factors. We are using matchups. So these are the opponents against position. So Tyson Chandler's playing the Rockets tonight. So the Rockets give up basically 94% of the league average points to center. So we plug that in. It affects Tyson Chandler. Same with rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and turnovers. At the end of the day, we spit out a final score projection that basically what we're using is pace. So how many possessions each team is going to have tonight. The number of minutes that the player plays is going to indicate how many possessions he plays, and then basically his average number of points per possession extrapolated out to get his final score. So you can see there's not a lot of great matchups tonight. There are a lot of big name stars playing. But there's not a ton of great matchups. Like Miami plays really slow, so that kind of hurts everybody in that game. But there are things to be had out there. Um, just looking through it a little more. I mean, these are very basic projections. I don't claim these to ever be 100% accurate, but they are matchup based. They're using how many minutes I think they're going to play, so they are more predictive than reactive. Also, what I'm using right now, and this is kind of a little bit of a test, is for the matchups. I'm only using the last 10 games. So we're at the point of the season where a lot of things are happening. The bad teams know they're out of it. They're trying out new players. The good teams are kind of ramping up for the playoffs, so they're kind of starting to get into postseason mode where they're playing a little differently. So I didn't want to take the entire season as a snapshot for what's going to happen tonight or try to predict tonight. So what I've been using is the last 10 games. So I think like Oklahoma City is particularly bad at defending the point guard position over the last 10 games. So those are things to keep in mind. Let's see if we can find somebody. I don't see any big numbers here. Okay, steals, that's kind of hard to predict. Okay, here's points. So Dallas against the small forward position, basically 48% more than the league average is what that's saying, that 1.48. That's 48% over the league average over the last 10 games to the small forward position. So Trevor Ariza and Corey Brewer both in line to benefit greatly from that tonight. So that's basically what we're doing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on this post on Daily Fantasy Rankings. You can leave a comment on YouTube. I'll get to it. You can shoot me a tweet. It's at RickRunGood on Twitter. I'm happy to help, but this is just something that I wanted to do before the season was over so that you guys could get a look at the projections, and then I'll do that video series to walk everybody through how to make the room. So good luck tonight, and I will talk to you soon.